Hey, what's up? Alistair Cunningham here. On this week's show, I've got the most inspirational guy I've ever met. You know, you're watching this right now, probably in the United Kingdom. You've got opportunities at your fingertips. This guy is from Iran. He didn't have them opportunities. In fact, if he wanted to pursue opportunities, he had to literally leave his home country and his family. So he done it, so what's your excuse? All right, guys, welcome to Mars. This is Mars Burke, everybody. Mars, say hey, tell them who you are and what do you do?
Hi everybody, my name is Mars. I am the founding director of Mars Properties. We run a very successful accommodation business. I'm originally from Iran, as Alistair mentioned, and it's a pleasure to be here today.
Awesome, thank you very much. Right, okay, so talk to me. Look, how old are you? You're 30 years old.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Right, and you've been in the United Kingdom 12 years, so you left Iran when you were 18.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Iran? Like, because let's be very ignorant here. If you go by the media, go by everything that we would see, because I've never been to Iran,
yeah.
It's war-torn, it's refugees, it's chemical bombs, it's chemical nuclear weapons, it's dictatorship president that will lynch you if you don't agree with what he's saying. So is some of that right, or is that just the media bullshit?
I think some of it might be exaggerated by the media, but most of it is right.
Yeah.
You cannot speak openly about certain subjects. You'll create yourself in a very big problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, the economy was crashing, and it still is, probably worse even. But yeah, it's a very tough.
So as a sort of growing teenager, you're now in your sort of mid 15, 16. What's it like going to school there? What's your friendship like? What's your circles like? What's Mars doing as a 15-year-old in the middle of Iran?
I would say I was always good at studying and literally put my head down, do what I've got to do, study and trying to aim for what I want to achieve. I went to an all-boys school, so it was just like an old bond of 19, 20 students together. Yeah. And it was. And
you have a love for aerospace.
Yeah.
And were you studying that in Iran?
I was studying physics and mathematics at high school. Yeah. En route to go to university to study aerospace.
And did you go to university in Iran to study aerospace?
No, that never happened and that never materialized, unfortunately. And the reason was because there are certain restrictions in Iran. For example, if you are from a certain region, let's say Yorkshire in England, for example, you're not allowed to study a certain subject, which in my opinion is quite...
That is bizarre. So just because you're from, let's say, what was your hometown in Iran?
Sadasht.
Sadasht?
Sadasht, yeah.
Sadasht, okay. So if you're from Sadasht, you cannot... It's bizarre that just because that's your geographical postcode location, you can't then go to university to study aerospace.
A certain subject, yeah. Very ignorant.
Why?
Yeah. It's just the way the government... I mean, people ask me why, and I say, my response is, when there is a dictatorship in place, you don't ask questions. You know, it is...
Fine, okay, it is what it is. You just accept it and get on with it. All right, so you had this passion for aerospace. You also... you just want to thrive and develop, but obviously the economy in Iran at the time is on its backside. It's not going anywhere any good because the rich out there are wealthy, but the poor are very, very poor. Yeah. And there's a huge divide. So at the minute, you've got a situation where you're a young lad, you've got all these driving aspirations. What was that the driving force behind you saying, look, do you know what, I've got to go somewhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. I could have stayed, but I would have been miserable for the rest of my life. Yeah. So I made a decision, I have to leave.
Which meant obviously leaving your family, friends, loved ones.
Everything behind, which is not, it's not an easy decision to make at the age of 18, 19. It's very difficult. So I made that decision. My family was happy. They said, you're following a dream, by all means, go for it. So yeah, decided to leave Iran.
Were your parents, were they really supportive of you to do this? Honestly, even though they may never see you again? Yeah,
honestly, everything that I have, I'm appreciative to my family forever in eternity. Without them, I couldn't have achieved anything. But yeah, very, very supportive. They said, we want to see you happy. If this is what makes you happy, then...
Yeah, that's awesome, man. All right, so 18 years old, you come to the United Kingdom, you land in London, and what next? What happened there? Because I don't, what was the story? I mean, you've just come from Iran, you're here, you're in the United Kingdom, what now?
So basically, I was in London, and you have to go through certain procedures because to be granted a visa to be allowed to study. But unfortunately, it was not straightforward. So I found myself homeless for a couple of years.
So you're homeless in London.
Yeah.
So when you came from Iran to London, how much money did you have, or how much money did you bring with you?
0.
So you managed to get here just by begging, borrowing, and doing whatever you had to do to get here.
Yeah, literally.
And you arrive here, you haven't got any money. You've got. I mean, what was the plan when you left Iran? What was the plan? Just get to the United Kingdom and then figure out, or did you have somewhere lined up to stay when you got here?
I knew that the UK was the land of opportunities. And I knew that when I get here, I'll figure the rest out.
Figure the rest
one way
out.
or the
Fine.
other. Yeah.
All right. So you get here, right? And some of you will be watching this. The ignorant people amongst you saying, "Oh, just another asylum seeker, come to the UK for the opportunities to rinse the economy." Please switch off and fuck off. Right? The reality is that's not the case. Yeah. Okay. The reality is this, right? You came here, and what you've achieved since you got here, and what you've contributed to the economy is unreal. It is so inspirational because you landed, you were homeless for how many years?
2.5, 3 years.
Like, for me, it's cold at the minute. It's freezing cold outside right now. I couldn't imagine being homeless for 2.5 years.
Yeah. So
what was it like? What was it like?
We were relying on food banks, charities. There were certain shelters that they would take us there. You sleep in a sleeping bag. You get. Sometimes we get if there was a bank holiday, we were celebrating because we get a £5 cash in hand because there was.
Where was that come from? The food banks?
Charities, food banks. Yeah, we get a £5 if there was a bank holiday. Otherwise, it was just like packed. Bag of lunches, food and things.
But look, at the end of the day, the charities are there to help people that are homeless. Yeah. So you're in the UK. You're trying to get your visa sorted. You're living homeless. You're living on whatever scraps, whatever money you can find. So I remember we've spoke past, and you were talking about finding money on the floor and things Absolutely. Like that. Yeah, and like the reason why I talk about this is because most people watching this are probably watching this from the comfort of a warm front room. Yeah. And I want you to know that if Mars can achieve what he's achieved, you've got no excuse. No excuse, because nothing you can tell me, nothing you can throw at me will compete with what this guy's been through. So 3.5 years homeless, or 2.5 years homeless. Then what started happening? Because did you move cities or were you just in London?
I moved cities actually. They moved me up north for a while and then down to Birmingham, and then that's where I was actually granted and got my visa.
And were you working? Were you trying to get sort of cash in hand jobs, or what was life like? What was life like on the streets? Like, because you're homeless, sleeping in sleeping bags, hostels whenever you can get there. What was life like living on the streets?
Honestly, I just had to do what I needed to do just to keep food and stay alive basically. Yeah. So sometimes I was delivering leaflets for some people. I actually used to travel from Middlesbrough to Newcastle and then come back to just to get some money for food basically. Yeah. So it wasn't easy.
You're hustling all your way, right? Yeah. All right. So you mentioned there about you getting granted asylum. What was that whole process? So you put a process in to get granted asylum. You finally got granted asylum. What did that now mean for you?
So basically that means you can do everything that a UK-born citizen can do, apart from voting, because you can do that when you've got citizenship. But for me that didn't matter because you were allowed to study, as well as if you can take a loan to study if you...
Yeah, so it basically means you're now effectively on the register. It means you're on the footprint, like you're on the map in the United Kingdom and you're actually allowed to be here. Yeah. Which, look, I respect that massively because to come here and be homeless for 2.5 years, go through all of that hardship, right? You weren't here to steal from anybody. You weren't here to steal from the government. You're not here to take, all right? You finally get asylum, right? And then I know you then pursued your aerospace studies. So what did that look like? So you managed to get a grant, a loan, which then funded your aerospace studies. Where did you study?
Brunel University, London. I'm still there now.
Still there now, and I know you are very much an ambassador at that place. You see, you're very doing very well over there. All right, so come on, talk to me about that. You started studying your aerospace. Where did things start to go from there? Because now you're starting to get on your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me about what happened now. You got your asylum. You're studying aerospace. What's the life of Mars looking like right now?
Yeah. So obviously, once I got my visa, I applied for university. I applied for got multiple approvals, but the main one that stood out to me was Brunel University, because not only I could study aerospace, but I had the option to become a pilot as well.
Yeah.
So as part of that, we started flying, and I started learn about flying, and I was awarded actually a scholarship to fund part of the flying hours, which was amazing.
Awesome, yeah. So you talk to me about Boeing, because I know, obviously, let's fast forward a bit. Yeah. You qualified. You got all your qualifications in aerospace. What exactly did you get again?
So aviation engineering with pilot studies. Then I did a master's in aerospace as well, and now I'm doing a PhD in.
So you're a very educated 30-year-old, right? And I really take my hat off to that. Like, the discipline to do that is awesome, right? And now I remember when I first met you, you were telling me, you've come to a program called Tell the World, and you were telling me all about the time you went for a job, you applied for a job at Boeing. Yeah. So there was, how many people applied for that?
I think 6,000 people applied.
So 6,000 people applied for it. What happened?
So basically 6,000 people applied for that position for Airbus. And what happened was I got shortlisted to the final 2 people.
Yeah.
Technically, I scored higher than the other person, but for some reason, which they told me later, they went for the other person.
So 6,000 down to 2.
Yes.
Hold on. 6,000 applicants down to 2. This coming from an 18-year-old who left Iran with nothing. He made his way to the UK, was homeless for 2.5 bloody years. He then went through all the system to create wealth for himself. He studied, he put the time in, he put the effort in, and now he's starting to reap the rewards. Remember this, the rewards didn't come first. They come after years and years of hard work. Remember that. The only place you'll see success before work is in the dictionary, nowhere else. Success always comes after the work, remember that, okay? So, down to 2 people, why didn't they employ you?
So I had a 1.5 hour long feedback after the interview about 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after the interview. And I remember the exact moment in the interview when we went through all the technical stuff and they were all happy. They said, can you show us an example where you've done some sort of self-development in your life?
Like personal development.
Personal development. And I said, I didn't even know what that was. I was like, I don't know what answer I gave. It must have been terrible, because that cost me the job, which I'm happy that I didn't get now.
So they asked you, the reason you didn't get jobs because you hadn't been working on yourself personally. Yeah. I would argue that the journey from Iran to the United Kingdom, the journey of being homeless, that's the best personal fucking development you ever need.
Yeah.
So now you're not getting a job. Other person got the job. How much was the job going to pay, by the way?
22k.
£22,000.
Yeah.
And now you're like, thank you, Boeing, for not giving me the job, because then, what next? You didn't get the job at Boeing, then what? What happened then?
So what happened was, I think it was the year during lockdown. It was the year that I was studying my masters.
Okay.
So I was expecting some money to come in from the loans and borrowings that I made to pay for the fees. And I was also working 3 days as a hairdresser.
So you're doing the hairdressing and barbering, get a bit of money in.
Yeah.
All right. Then how did it come about that you got involved in property, and how did this happen?
Yeah. So basically, I said I can leave off the hairdressing money and then invest some of the money in something else.
Yeah.
So I googled and I came across property as one of the good vehicles.
Yeah.
And then I think it was in one of your events in London that I came to see you.
Yeah.
And then that's where I signed up for the Tell the World program, which is an absolutely amazing self-development program. I was.
So you could go back to you could go back to Boeing now and say, it's crazy.
So, yeah, that program. I mean, I was not expecting that.
Weren't you? It's very interesting. Tell the World is my signature 4-day personal development training program and speaker training program. And most people that come to it have no idea what to expect. And you didn't know anything about it really, apart from so many people are saying, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
So many people, they were giving testimonials and say, we can't discuss what will happen, but you have to do it. And I just took the courage and signed up for the program, and it just blew my mind away.
The rest is history.
Completely different person. I mean, you go in, you go through a roller coaster journey, I would say, but at the end, when you come out, oh my goodness, for 2 weeks, I literally
unstoppable. And then you launched, you launched and you grew your property business.
Yeah.
So as a result of Tell the World, that gave you the drive, the motivation, the self-belief to go and grow your property business. So you went and you grew your property business. And you started off, as most people, with 1 unit. Yeah. Do you remember your first unit?
Yes, it was actually a deal for 4 when I started.
A deal for 4? Man, you do everything big.
Yeah.
That's good.
So what happened was, and this is about courage, because some people, you can give them eternity to make a decision, or they'll never make a decision.
What does Tell the World teach you? There's a couple of really important lessons that come out of Tell the World. 1, 2, 3, go. Stop messing about. 1, 2, 3, just do it. Another thing is massive courage and fearlessness. Yeah,
there was one of the, I can't discuss in detail, it was one of the nights that we went through a certain process. Mm-hmm. And you literally show us, if you don't act now, how would your future look like? And I was like, you have to be decisive in these sort of moments. So when I was offered that deal or contract, I had about, I think, £90 in my account. 90. Wow. But I signed a contract for the next Monday, and it was Friday, and by Saturday I'd raised the money already. And
how much did you have to raise?
5k.
Okay, how did you raise that? Some people will be like that. Yeah. Some people have just woke up at that. They'll be like, whoa, in one day you raised 5k, how?
Yeah, so it was through a private investor.
Yeah.
I gave a very good return.
Okay.
And we had a meeting in a pub. We had a drink, and she had, I've got a pot of money, me and my sister, but I'll be the person of contact, and we trust you to be the person to. So
they've invested money.
Yeah.
You've done a joint venture.
Yeah.
Were they part of the deal, or were they just part of a loan?
Part of a personal loan.
Okay, so that's fine. How did that deal material? Like, how much money did it make, and what were the setup costs, all that sort of stuff? What were the numbers on that deal? So
it was interesting. It was already as part of a service accommodation business. It was running as Airbnb. So the owner wanted to sell and move on to the big development project. Yeah. So it was all ready to go. Obviously, I paid a premium fee for that, which is fine. But now, as a result, on average, it makes between £1,800 to £2,000 profit a month. So that's making you $1,800 to £2,000 a month. Yeah. And what was the total investment you had to put into it in the first place? Was it the 5k? It was 7, but it was. I borrowed 5k from the private investor, and I found another 2k. And you found another 2k. So 7k to get them in, to get them going, and it's making you, on average, $1,800 to £2,000 a month. Yeah. That's a banging deal. Amazing. And that was your first? That was the first. So where are we at now? Like, as of, we are in January. I just had to look at my phone for some reason. I don't know why I didn't know it was January. Yeah. We're in January 2023. What's business looking for you right now? You've got a very successful service accommodation business, high-end, boutique, you don't do rubbish. Yeah. So what's it looking like right now? So honestly, we are flooded with opportunities at the moment. We get about 20 to 30, I would call them leads a week. Yeah. But out of those, we put offers on 2 or 3 because we want to work with the very high-end ones. So packages sold a really nice deal to a private investor, the same block of apartments in Coventry, and we're just about signing another one tomorrow or today or tomorrow in Beaconsfield. Yeah. And we literally have private investors lined up. I mean, some people struggle to sell a deal for 1,500 and you wonder why. But we have people queuing up for deals that we sell at 10, 11, 12k. Yeah, so you're selling them, because what we've showed you and how we've taught you how to package deals up, you can sell them for 10, 15, 20, even £20,000. Like, I'm doing deals at the minute, right? Service accommodation deals that are selling for 15 grand. Yeah. 15 grand, right? Yeah. And the thing is, people are prepared to pay it, because it's that turnkey. Just today, I've done a deal with somebody for £6,500, which is a turnkey service accommodation for contractors. Yeah. Means they don't have to do anything. All right, so business is booming. Yeah.
I know you've got a partner in that business, and you both here are working very, very well together. How's life? Forget business. How's Mars? Because you got a lot of reflection to do. Because you come here when you're 18, you're homeless, you've had a big old journey.
Yeah.
And I know you've had some ups and downs. I know you've had some like trauma and things like that in your family life and things like that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like these things, this is life. Life throws constant barriers and obstacles at us. So how's Mars doing? Come on, forget business. How's Mars as a person?
So basically, when I wake up in the morning, I love that I have the choice and the freedom to do what I want to do. So many friends of mine, I've got to do this today, I've got to go to work, and I'll be like, so it's great to have the freedom to do what you want to do, especially what you want to pursue and you have a passion for. Yeah. As well as the majority, I would say most of what I do is to help my family as well. Yeah. Which is always been on my top priority list to be in a position to be comfortable myself, because if you're not in a position to provide, then that'd be difficult. So help my family with bits and pieces, and in a. Are
you in regular contact with your family?
Yeah.
And are they super proud of you?
Very.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine they would be. Why wouldn't they be? All right. So look, business is going well. You're doing well. What's 2023 hold for you?
So we've got plans to grow our business, scale it up, as well as other plans to go to bigger projects, maybe 1 or 2 PLOs, and then eventually systemize it all and step back, because I want to pursue an airfield flight academy again.
Yeah, because I know the property, although you love it. I know this. I know you love it, right? For you, it's the vehicle to get you to the aerospace.
Absolutely.
I know that. Because your passion is to create an aerospace academy and to teach people from all different backgrounds that they can also learn aerospace and study and have the freedom to learn aerospace. Listen, if they want to connect with you, how can they connect with you?
So I go by Mars Propertypreneur on socials, as well as you can look up for Marlis Properties. Yeah. And then can connect with us. All
right, we'll put the link below for Mars and his businesses. Connect with him, because listen, this guy's story is so inspirational, and if you're watching this and you're coming up with excuses, you need to stop that right now, because Mars could have come up with all them same excuses and he wouldn't be sat here right now, financially free, making loads of money, changing his life, changing his family's lives, and living the life by choice and the life of happiness. What's it like working with us? Obviously, you've done Tell the World, you've done all my property training, all my business training. What's it like working with us?
Honestly, I would say the amount of value you offer as a team. I was talking to your marketing team before, and I took some golden nuggets. It's just incredible. You can't put a price on that. And anyone, I would say the Business Academy, anyone who wants to start any business, not just property. The tools that you're going to be equipped with, sales and marketing, and all the journeys and all the pillars of business that you would need for any business, it's just incredible. And this is one of the things, the tools that I have, that in the future I can use it for.
You can use it for everything. You can pick and choose, and you'll use it for. Yeah. Obviously, I'm the head of the company. It's my company. I started it. I formed it. I built it. But what am I like? I'm a mentor, right? I work with you as part of the Business Academy. We have one-to-one mentoring. What are them one-to-one mentoring sessions like? And secondly, I get emails every single day, right, from people that have undertaken training with many other providers, and the biggest complaint I see with people is lack of support, lack of contact, no communication, knowledge is not good enough, and they're just generally struggling. Okay, so what would you say very quickly before we get wrapped up? What's it like working with me as a mentor?
So you are a mentor as well as a friend, but you're very direct.
Yeah.
So the accountability is over the roof, and at some point I'm guilty of not, because you were too direct, and I've missed some of the accountability calls. But yeah, you need somebody who can push you, encourage you. But if you are not doing what you're supposed to do, then you need a kick. You need a kick at the backside. Yeah. But yeah, the immense value that I've got from the one-to-ones, from the mentorship. You can't put a price on it.
Awesome. Listen, if you want to get involved, I host free events London, Birmingham, Manchester, Scotland, Glasgow and Edinburgh. So get booked on, the link is below. The Property Accelerator, nothing. It doesn't cost anything to come, completely free of charge. You can come completely free of charge. I'm going to teach you 3 property strategies that will help you just like they help Mars. Property sourcing, low money down deals and buy, refurbish, recycle. Get booked on, it's free of charge. Don't miss out because you're missing the opportunity. This is Mars, go and connect with him, his details are below. My name's Alex Cunningham. Thank you for coming on board, Mars.
Welcome.
Guys, peace out, much love, see you next week.